This is Liz.
This is Jade.
And this is Carly, and you're listening to
Babes and Babies.
Hello, ladies.
Yes. Hi, guys.
Hello.
I've missed your lovely faces this week.
I feel like we haven't recorded for a long time.
And it's
Was
not,
it a-
yeah, I don't know.
Was it a while? I don't know.
I
feel
don't
like
remember.
But it seems like a long time.
Just because you missed us so much.
Yes.
I'm sure the listeners are feeling the same. You guys missed us so much.
so much.
What have you guys been up to this week?
Oh my gosh.
What have I been up to? Emerson's birthday is next month, you guys. So
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
it's unreal. She's such a little human now. She's gonna be a toddler. Once they turn 1, they call them toddlers.
Stop
you
it. Are you serious? That's a
She's
thing?
And she's no longer gonna be a baby, and it makes me
That's-
very sad.
Oh, so I can't say you have a baby anymore?
No.
I have to say you have a toddler?
Yes.
Weird.
Oh my god. It's earth shattering over here. I don't know how I feel about it. But
I just think toddler and I instantly think rebellion.
oh no,
Yeah.
don't say that.
I do too.
Oh god.
So what is the birthday entail? What are you planning here? Are you allowed to tell us? Is it a secret?
So, no, I've been planning because I've been spending a lot of time planning this over the last couple weeks. I'm super excited, but we're just going to have a bunch of people over, which you guys are obviously coming.
Yeah.
Yes.
To our house, and it's going to be like a vintage pool party. So I'm going to have it's like a vintage looking camper it's turned into a photo booth. So we're going to have that there, and we're going to have
Oh
an
my
ice
gosh.
cream and snow cone truck. And
Oh my gosh.
I just bought a bunch of like vintage decor, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But
Wait, so where are you getting your outfits? I don't even know where to go shopping.
I know. I was trying to think of what to wear the other day.
What
and
do we
I have
wear?
No idea.
So actually, I have a couple swimsuits that don't fit Emmy anymore that'll be perfect for Bella.
Oh my
They're
gosh.
They're
Amazing.
like 6 months size, so she'll be taken care of at least.
Yes.
And because they're kind of like 60s style from
Cute.
Janie and Jack, of course.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, but ModCloth, you guys, has a lot of good vintage kind of mod 60s Mad Men style clothing.
Okay. That's what we're going with. Okay,
So-
I'm going to start looking now.
Yeah, I bought my dad a bunch of stuff because he didn't know what to buy. He's like, I don't know what to buy. So I bought my dad some clothes
Aw,
and Tanner
Dad.
some clothes. And
That's so cute. Oh my gosh, Evan's going to
I know.
get really excited. He gets very into like
Yes.
costuming
Oh my gosh.
things.
I can't wait to see what he wears.
He's going to wear
I bought
something very odd, I'm sure.
Well, I bought Tanner these like light pink, short,
Yes.
swim trunks with
Yes.
flamingos on them.
Oh my God, that's so cute. Evan's been wearing
Yeah.
these, of course, short bathing suit shorts, but every day, which is weird because they're not real shorts or bathing suits, but they have bananas on them. Of course.
I think I've seen him in those.
they're
Yes.
so ridiculous.
He should wear those.
Okay, well then he's taken care of.
But yeah, so that's pretty much what I've been doing. And then I have all these, you guys are going to die because I have all this stuff planned out. I can't help myself but going super extra because I'm I'm just going to have a low key birthday party. And the more ideas I have, the more I'm going to be stupid extra.
You
but
only
it'll be
have
fun.
one first birthday. It needs to be as extra as possible.
Yes. But I'm making it kind of Palm Springs inspired. So I'm creating theatrical backdrops.
Oh my God.
To make it feel like
yes.
I'm
I
literally
wanna come over
building
and do crafts.
I'm
Ugh, what do we
building
look
theater
like?
sets. I'm literally building
Oh
a theater
my
set.
God. That's amazing. Also, your picture of Emmy with the rainbow is one of the cutest things I've ever seen. And I loved how Tanner was like, "Oh, I'm
you.
totally doing crafts today." I'm like, "Liar! You did not do that."
He sat down, handed her a piece of chalk, and took a picture. And he's like,
Men.
yeah, that was all me, dude.
You're like, "Can you please draw a rainbow? I would like to see what your rainbow looks like."
That's a good idea. I want to do a his and hers chalk art thing. And see
Oh
what
my
his
God,
looks
you
like.
should.
Yes.
But also, I've been spending a lot of time in the barn lately. I've been really wanting to be outdoors, and I've also been pulling weeds a lot. So, which sounds so exciting, but I've been
Hashtag
obsessed
housewife
with it.
life.
Yeah, so I put Emerson outside, and she likes to play with the rocks and the gardens, kind of, or the landscaping, whatever you want to call it. And I pull weeds, but I've
Oh my
been
gosh.
obsessed with it. It's been so much fun for me in a really, really weird way.
No, I love that. And you're composting and you're helping the environment.
Yeah. So it's so cool to watch my compost turn into soil. And we're going to use it in the fall and plant some more grass in our yard and sprinkle it around. So it's kind of fun making my own.
That's really cool.
Fertilizer, I guess. Yeah.
One day we need to talk about how to do that, because my parents now basically live in the woods. And they have a septic system, so they have to like throw all their food away. And I was like, you guys need to start a compost. So you're going to have to explain to me how to do all these things. My mom was like, that's a great idea. Also, they're getting chickens.
That's so cool. I'm so jealous.
I can't wait to get chickens.
Evan bought
chickens?
Oh, yeah. The house that Vito got, we plan on getting chickens there because it's unincorporated, so we can have them, and I'm excited.
Oh, my God. Evan bought this 6-foot-long chicken coop because my parents were like, I don't know that we want chickens. And Evan's like, you're going to have chickens. And so he just bought them a coop and he was like, happy housewarming. Here's your chicken coop.
Oh my God.
I saw him on Facebook ask about egg-laying hens. So
oh my God,
funny.
I know. And it's so funny, like the way he worded that. He just did that, obviously, just to be funny. Also on our Babes and Babies podcast group on Facebook, Jade, that thing that you posted the other day that said something about barbecue. Can you please explain this? Because that was so funny.
Okay, so someone else posted it. So it was a meme, I guess, that they posted that you were supposed to, it's a text challenge. You're supposed to text your spouse or your partner, why didn't I get invited to the barbecue? And then their response is hopefully, what barbecue? And then you're supposed to say, the barbecue where you slap your meat across my grill. And it's just like, it's a dirty joke that you're just supposed to see the responses. And the responses were killing me. They were so good.
Funny. Also, Tanner's was so funny.
Tanner was like, I'll bring you home the leftovers. And I was like, wait, so you're starting this barbecue without me? Like, is there?
I know. It was like, so funny. I was cracking up so hard. And then Evan's like, hey, did you see this? Because, Evan loves to be in the Babes and Babies podcast. He loves being in those conversations. And I was like, oh, no, I didn't see it. And I go, oh, my gosh, that's so funny. And he's like, so why didn't you send it to me? And I was like, you just want me to now send this to you so you can show people how funny you are. And I was like,
he had a pre-planned answer?
Yeah. I was like, you're not allowed to pre-plan answers and then act super funny on there. And he's like, why not? Like, that's not real. We have to be real here. But it was so funny. I was cracking up so hard. These husbands are hilarious.
Some of them were so good.
Yeah, I have to look. Really I didn't see that. I need to look at it. I didn't see it.
One of them was like, his answer was like, oh yeah, you'll be getting barbecue when I come home. Hope you like it bone in.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
Like hope you like your
husband is hilarious,
like
ma'am.
That. Yes, it's so good.
It's so good. Liz, what have you been up to?
Oh my gosh, I worked like Monday through Saturday this week, so I'm exhausted. I'm getting ready to move to the burbs, so I'm trying to like pack things up. And I also got a couple more doula clients, so that's super exciting.
Awesome. That's great.
That's awesome.
I'm really pumped. And then I found out this week a fun fact about birth in China, and the men are not allowed in the room when the woman's birthing, and after they have the baby, they bring the baby out to like see the dad. Yeah. I was like, I don't think I could do that.
So that's totally like, what, 1950s, 1960s America? And you weren't allowed to?
That's so weird.
It's crazy. Yeah. It was actually from my Uber driver. He's Chinese, and his wife and baby are back in China, and he comes to the States to like work for a while, then he goes and visits them. And he was telling me how when his wife had the baby, he wasn't allowed in the room. And I was like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, in China, that's how it is there. You're not allowed in the room with her when she has the baby.
That's so crazy.
So crazy.
I have had some really interesting conversations with Uber drivers, guys. One time, this guy was telling me about his musical, and he didn't want me to have, he was like writing this musical, and he was like, Evan, he had found out who Evan and I were, and he's like, well, I wouldn't want you in the starring role because the girl I'm writing with is going to be in the starring role, but you could be like a supporting character. And I'm like, what is happening here?
Wait, what?
So weird. I don't know. And then Evan saw him at the gym the other day. He's like, oh my God, musical guy, Uber driver is at the gym. It was so funny.
You guys, I hate talking to my Uber drivers. I'm sorry. I'm that person. I don't want to talk to you.
You know, sometimes I'm into it. It's usually if I've had a drink or two that I'm like, okay, fine. Like, I'm in a good mood. I can talk to you. But the other day I was taking an Uber because I was going out to dinner with Caitlin and Whitney. And I was like, Evan, I have a feeling this is going to be a chatty Uber driver. Like, before I even got in there. And I cursed myself because he talked to me the whole time. And he was super nice. He was like this really young guy, like had just come from dinner with his family. He was like in college. But I was like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to sit in the back and not talk. You guys sit in the back, right?
Yes, I know. But I never ever would sit in the front.
One time someone was like, can you please sit in the front?
What?
Yeah, it was
like,
so
no.
weird. It was a woman,
no.
and she made me sit in the front with her. It was so weird.
I would say no. I'd be like, no, I'll just get another Uber. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya. Oh my gosh, Carly, what's going on in your world? Is your house like crazy because the kids are out of school?
So what happens in my house is now just Fortnite all day and all night, you guys.
Oh God.
It's
Fortnite to me sounds like a fun, like when you say Fortnite, I picture building a fort and having a sleepover.
That would be better than what this is. Today I walk outside to take the dogs out because my parents' dog is here right now. And I hear Ainsley, who is 10, go, Liam, I can't go in there. I don't have a gun. And I was like, things you never think a 10-year-old would say. I can't go in that room. I have no gun. I don't know. I just can't get into this video game thing. I also just think it teaches violence to children, and I just hate it. But it is what it is, and the kids love it. And
I know it's hard, right?
It's a boy thing, and if Evan says it's cool, then Evan says it's cool. But Bella's not going to play shoot 'em up games.
Well, I think it is totally, I mean, I don't want to get into like gender specifics, but I do think it is kind of a boy thing where they want to like play with swords and they want to shoot each other up. Even if they don't have a toy gun, they're going to make their hands into a gun. It's just like boys want to like actively express themselves. Like, and so with a video game, it's kind of the same thing, but it's so funny because Tanner plays Fortnite and he's literally playing. He's literally playing probably with Liam, you know?
Oh my gosh, they actually should play together. That would be hilarious. Liam plays sometimes with my cousin Dublin, which is really funny. My cousin Dublin is 22, funny. So. But
I just can't wait till the hype dies down because it's so hyped right now. Yeah.
And I just we did move to an area that doesn't like have a bunch of kids in it. And the house we used to live in did. And so they would play outside all the time. And so it is kind of, I get why they're not playing outside as much, but it's just, it's kind of like, what do you do? Hey, you guys have to stop playing. Hey, you guys have to do this. It's summer and you want your kids to like have fun and do what they want to do. But like you say, no, you can only do it this amount of time. Like maybe, but then I don't know. It's a hard thing. Yeah, it's a hard topic, a touchy topic. I'm sure people have varying opinions about, but it is what it is. That's what happens. That's actually happening outside the window right now. I said, hey guys, I'm podcasting, so I don't care if you guys talk because it won't pick it up, but can you just not scream? Because sometimes you hear, man, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
It's just so funny. Boys are funny.
It's funny how you can connect with people all over the world, though, with games like that, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
Because Tanner plays with people from, like, all over. Like, he was playing with one guy in Mexico and one guy in Canada, and he even plays with one of the Chiefs football players. He plays with Tanner.
That's so funny.
Yeah, they're video game friends now.
Oh, my gosh. That's hilarious.
I know.
Boys. That's what's happening
Speaking of boys... speaking of boys, we have a boy mom on our podcast today.
We do.
For once.
We do.
I know. We're always talking about girl things. We have Lindsie Chrisley. You probably know her from Chrisley Knows Best. She is the oldest girl, and she has the cutest son who's 5, Jackson. And we're so excited to have her on.
Yes. I love that show. Her dad is so ridiculous, but sometimes I'm like, he is so crazy, but I watch.
Oh my gosh. I was watching today, and I was watching some clips, and Evan walks in, and I was laughing really loud. Like, I don't always laugh that loud. And he was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm watching Chrisley Knows Best. Todd is so funny. And he's like, oh my gosh, Carly. But he is, like, the things that he says and the things that he does are
just outrageous.
So outrageous. Yes. And you can't help but being like, I want to be around him because I would just want to, like, watch that all the time.
It's probably constant entertainment.
It's so funny.
You have to ask Paul to do his Todd impression. You really do, because it is so spot on. It's so good. It's so funny. Yeah, you need to ask him.
I definitely need to ask him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're having her on, and we can learn about all things boy.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Me too.
I want to be a boy mom someday, so I'm excited.
I'm a boy mom in a step boy way. But but I'm not from birth. I only know the years that you really
the sticky years.
Struggle, but yes, the sticky ones. Ew, that makes me think of really gross stuff, by the way.
Well, that's not good.
That's probably true, though, you guys.
I know, and it's probably happening. Sometimes when I watch their sheets, I'm like, I don't think I really want to know.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's gross. It's so gross.
I know.
You don't have to worry about that with girls. Oof.
They say... I know that's like one of the good things though, because they say girls are so much harder, but I don't know what I'm going to do if I have a boy. And then I don't know how to approach the whole puberty thing with a boy when they get like boners.
I think that's where the dad has to just talk to them,
but
you know?
I just don't, I just don't want to know. Like, it's my son. I just,
Oh gosh. Evan is going to put a chastity belt on Bella. I'm telling you. He's not going to be able to handle life. It's going to be very funny.
That's funny. See, I think I can handle that with my daughter for some reason.
Oh, yeah. I'm totally into handling that.
Gosh, I don't want to know about a boy. Just because, they turn into such, like, high school boys especially, their minds, I just don't want to know. I don't want to
know either.
No.
Because it's your kid.
I know.
Yeah.
But the
also, speaking of things you don't want to know, I actually feel like I do want to know because I just bought 3 cameras for the inside of our house so that I do know what's happening at all times in our house.
Detective Carly.
I know. And we haven't set them up yet, but I displayed them very loudly in the kitchen because I just bought them on Amazon Prime Day. And we're going to set them up today so that I know who is coming and going and all of the things all of the times.
Good for you.
Right.
Good for you.
Listen, I think it's important.
People
are going to be really mad
do
about
that
too. But whatever. Well,
you
know what? All kids are different. And I just, like, if I hear a door opening and closing, I want to know who's coming in, going from that door. Even, like, things like with Bella, like, napping or something, I would like to know, do I need to like turn on the sound machine because someone's walking in the door or whatever? You know what I mean? That thing too.
Yeah. I definitely think it's valid with a baby in the house.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's valid anytime that you are just a little bit suspicious.
I hope you
can't wait
to
to
talk
catch
about it on the
things.
podcast, but I do want to hear about these things later.
Yeah. Well, if I catch any sticky circumstances, not those kind, but I'll let you know. I'll let the podcast know. Listen,
we'll call it the camera files.
Oh yes,
Ooh,
camera files with Carly. Yes, I like it. Okay, well let's not wait anymore. Let's get Lindsie on and chat.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Hello, Lindsie.
Hello.
Hey, oh my gosh, we're so excited to have you on.
Yes.
Oh God, I'm scared of the questions.
No, don't fear us. We just want this to be like brunchy girl chat.
I literally talked about Bachelor last week on my podcast, actually.
Oh my gosh,
you
did you?
Yes, because there was a scandal that happened on the challenge this season.
Yes. Yeah.
Wait, I don't know what you're talking about.
That's Danielle Maltby's ex.
Oh, that scandal. Yes, I know about this scandal.
Naughty dog.
Yeah,
Yes.
super naughty. Ugh.
So we had one of the challengers on our podcast and we were talking about it, and I was like, oh my God, the girls from The Bachelor are like y'all are crazy in a good way, but like it's like it's like a cult, you know, it's like y'all travel in a pack and I would just like not be interested.
It is really funny. It's like a really weird incestual family we have going on in The Bachelor.
Love it. I love it.
It's very odd.
Who did you have on from the show? Who was on your podcast?
Jimmy.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
My husband, that's like his guilty pleasure show. So we watch it every week. We watch The Challenge.
Oh my gosh, I've never seen this. I have to see it. Caitlin talks about it all the time.
Yeah, I don't watch it either, but my co-host is from the MTV family, and so she's friends with a lot of the people from The Challenge. And one of the guys actually joined Teen Mom OG from The Challenge this season. So
interesting.
Corey and Cheyenne.
Oh my God. Okay.
They joined Teen Mom OG this season. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. And the crossovers are like so weird. And I just couldn't imagine being on a show like that. But anyhow.
Also, Kale is friends with Julia, who is one of our best friends.
Yeah, they did Marriage Boot Camp together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The show we don't talk about on this podcast.
Jade did that too, and she pretends like that never happened in life.
Well, I mean, I don't pretend, but it was just a very, very awful time in my life. I hated that show so much. I don't know I'll have to ask if we ever have her, if we go on your guys' podcast, but I'll have to ask Kale because that show is just, I mean, I felt like I was going to like have a heart attack every night. I hated it.
Well, we've all been there. I've actually, I was offered to go on the same season as you guys, I think.
Oh, really?
I don't know if it was your season or were you on the same season as Kale or a different one?
No, that was Julia.
That was Julia.
Okay. Yeah. So I was offered to go on that season because, I mean, God knows when you have a kid, everybody has a rocky marriage. So yeah, I was offered to go on that, but I just thought maybe this will make it worse. So probably not.
It's not real therapy to blast the show. Sorry, but
but whatever.
And it's so sad because I feel like when you signed up, Jade, you were like, this could be really good for us. And then you left and you're like, that was the hardest thing I've ever done.
Because it was just so produced that I was just looking at them like, you want me to do what right now? Like, I'm not going to do that. That's going to make everything worse. It was just, it was just I don't know. It was very produced and very like manipulative, I guess, like most reality TV shows.
Yes.
Right.
But enough of talking about that. Okay. So you have a little boy, Lindsie.
Yes, I do.
Jackson, how old is he?
He's 5. And
that's what I thought. He has the cutest accent ever, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
He's so sweet. It's so cute.
I don't know where it comes from. Really? I don't know where he gets it because I don't really have it. Well, some people say I have it and then some people say not at all. But my parents have really, really strong Southern accents.
Yes.
Right.
And my husband's parents have really strong Southern accents. And yeah, so I guess that's maybe where it comes from. I don't think
That's so funny. You have like a little bit of one, but not like your parents at all.
No. Oh God.
It's so cute though. Okay, so this is just so funny. So I was watching, and one thing that made me love you so much is you have like really strong parenting techniques that are so different from your parent.
Oh, so different.
And there was at one point that your dad was like trying to put him down for a nap and he was like, let's make you do some yoga. And I was like actually dying laughing.
My dad
so
probably
hard.
can't. My dad probably can't even spell yoga. Like,
what's so funny is like Savannah was like, Dad, like that's not downward dog. He was like, lay down and put your feet up in the air. And she was like, that's not it. That's not how you do downward dog.
It's so funny. Yeah, our parenting is so totally different. And I don't know. I think it's just, I don't know if y'all can relate, but however you're raised, I feel like you take a little bit of the good and then you take all of the bad and like try to chuck it. And
yes.
I did that. And I didn't really become possessive until he was born. And then it was like everything changed. So I would say it was probably like a form of postpartum, but just like in an OCD way.
Yeah.
And like, I will not do anything like not organic. My house has to be spotless. Like,
how do you even do that though?
Yeah, we were going to ask that. You said you've just been cleaning for 5 hours. I don't remember. I've probably cleaned like 5 hours every couple of months total.
Oh, wow. That's like a weekly thing for me.
I try. I mean, it's really hard keeping a house clean with 4 boys and a baby. But yeah, I mean,
you prioritize, right? So like whatever was important to you. So me having a clean house is a super important thing to me. So
yeah,
I can't function in dysfunction. So
it makes your whole, like, I tried to explain to Evan one time, he was like, why do you make the bed? Like, just us. We'll just get back in it. I was like, because when I walk into a room and it looks like a hotel, I feel so good when I come home.
Yes.
If it's disheveled, it messes totally with messes with you mentally. You feel like anxious because it's messy.
Like my psyche's off or something. Like,
totally. I'm the same way.
I'm weird about the bed like that too. I mean, I don't want to get in it where I just slept in it last night. Like, obviously, it's the same bed. Yeah, it's just like gross.
I make my bed every day, though. But I also, I don't have kids, so I feel like it's easy because I just pick up as I go. Like, if I cook something, I do the dishes right away. If I, when I wake up, I make the bed. So I feel like it's easier because I only have me, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Well, first off, lucky you. Secondly, wait until you have a kid because things will change.
No, I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. It's literally
But I will
insanity.
say, like, my parents, that is one thing that I took the same from my parents. My parents' house, literally, you could eat off of the floor. Like,
that's amazing.
Spotless. And I didn't grow up in dysfunction. Like, everything had its place. And, you know, beds were always made. Sheets were washed weekly. I mean, and Jackson, he knows, like, Will's parents, which is my husband, he goes to their house and he'll be like, Baba, your house is messy. And it's like not messy, but it's just not like, sometimes things are out of place. And so it's just funny how they notice small things like that.
Oh, totally. Oh my gosh. These kids will like have no idea. Like a mess is, they think that's like the norm. And I'm like, why is everything left out? What is happening here? It's a tornado.
It's awful.
I know. So Carly, it's the craziest thing.
Carly and Jade are both girl moms, but you're a boy mom. And we have a lot of people asking about like how it is like raising a boy. Because we always talk on here about raising girls.
Yes. Well, so we've actually had this conversation before many of times with other friends. And I think that having a boy, first off, people told me before I had him that the love that a mother has for a son is much different than the love that they have for a daughter. And I don't know what it would be like to love a girl. But I am so like mentally and like everything connected to him that he is a mama's boy. And
that's so cute.
I don't think that'll ever change. You know, as he's grown, like to be older, he likes to do things with his dad more, like go and play at the park and play sports and stuff that I might not necessarily be interested in on a random Wednesday. But, you know, it's different. I think the challenges are different because there are certain things that girls are like very, my friend has 3 girls and very dramatic and very, they care about clothes and, you know, the Barbie dolls and like all that stuff. And I don't have to worry about any of that. Like Jackson will put on a sweatshirt in July and a pair of shorts and not care.
Right.
You know, so I don't have any of those challenges. And I feel like dressing a boy is so much easier. It's like, how many different color pair of shorts can you have? How many different color shirts? You know, everything kind of like matches each other and it doesn't really matter. And I don't have to worry about the accessories matching. Like he wears tennis shoes, you know?
Yeah. It's so funny. This weekend, my brother came to town. He has a little boy that is turning 1 next month. And it's so funny because my daughter like is obsessed with him and he doesn't want anything to do with her. Like, he's just like, ew, go away. But he is
Really?
he just wants to run around and like be active and like kick balls and like just be chaotic. And then Bella just wants you to sit there and like talk to her, you know? And it's so different because he doesn't care if you talk to him. He just wants to go run around and get into stuff. And she is like, excuse me, I need attention right now. And it's so different, but also just so adorable. He's so cute. It's ridiculous. Like he's so judgy and then he'll decide he likes you. So you'll do something really dumb and he'll just stare at you. And then all of a sudden he'll go, ha! And then you're like, oh my God, you like me. And then from then on, he'll just like randomly laugh at you. I was like dying.
Isn't it so crazy the differences between baby girl laughs and baby boy laughs?
Oh my gosh.
Little girl laughs are so feminine and then the boy ones are like, heh, heh, heh.
Oh, totally.
They're so mischievous and like,
yes.
You never know if you're going to get killed or hugged.
Totally.
For those of you that know me, know that I love adventures. I love taking last-minute flights and exploring new places, but it's hard to stay hydrated when I'm doing those things. That is why I love Liquid IV. It fuels tough workouts. It keeps you hydrated on trips. Drinking one packet can provide the same hydration as drinking 2 to 3 bottles of water. It's non-GMO and it's an electrolyte drink mix. It's vegan and free of gluten, dairy, and soy. It is absolutely amazing. I just started using it because I'm constantly on the go, and I can tell you that I do feel way more hydrated. I love Liquid IV, and I know that you will too. Right now, our listeners will get 20% off at liquid-iv.com when you use our code BABES at checkout. That's 20% off anything that you order on Liquid IV's website. Just go to liquid-iv.com and enter our promo code BABES to get your savings and start getting better hydration. And ladies, you know out there, hydration is key to good skin and health. That's liquid-iv.com, promo code BABES. Don't wait. Get hydrated today.
When you were pregnant, did you do a test to find out if you were having a boy or a girl?
Funny. So when I found out I was pregnant right before we started filming our pilot for Chrisley Knows Best.
Oh, wow.
And so it was all like this big fat secret that I was pregnant because we didn't want production to know. And so gosh. I was undercover pregnant and I had started to pop. It was like probably about 18 weeks, but I didn't start showing really until probably about, you could notice that something was going on around like 23 weeks.
Okay.
And so I was super small, but I wanted to know right away, like what he was. So I went and did this test from CVS that you pee in this cup and it has like some type of chemical in there. And if it turns green colored, it's a boy. And if it's like yellow, it's a girl. And immediately I peed in it and it was boy, but I had myself convinced that it was a girl because I wanted a boy so bad.
Oh, that's cute.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to convince myself that it's a girl. So if it is a girl, I won't be so disappointed.
Lindsie, I did the exact same thing, but I wanted a girl so bad. And I was like, I'm just convinced it's a boy. And then as a girl, I was like, oh my gosh, yes.
I know. And the sad thing is like, I could see myself having another baby, but also it's like one of those things where I'm in a comfort zone right now because he's 5.5, you know, and it's like he can pretty much like I fix a plate and put it in front of him and he's good, you know, and it's super easy. But I kind of wonder what it would be like to have a girl, but then also my husband is one of 3 boys. So, I mean, genetically, could he even have a girl? He says,
hey, I thought that too, but we had one.
He says he's a man's man and like it's not going to happen. So I don't know. And then I see like all these cute things that they didn't have back in 2012, like the gender reveals and like all of that stuff. We didn't do that in 2012. So
do you want another one?
Yeah, but like selfishly to do that stuff.
just for the Instagram content,
totally.
right?
I get that. So we always say when we have a mom on, we always ask what your birth story was, because it's always like the best stories ever. So what was your birth story?
Well, so I actually went into labor at 34 weeks.
Oh, wow. Oh my goodness.
And I had gone to the doctor and she checked me and she was like, I'll see you next Friday. And I got home and I was like, okay, something doesn't feel right. Like, this is getting weird. So I took a nap and I was like, maybe it'll just go away. Thought it was like Braxton Hicks. Cause this is my first baby. Like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
And she was like, I called my doctor and I told her, I was like, I've never had this before. Like, something's going on. And she was like, well, how often are you noticing the pain? And I said, well, so I timed it every 2.5 minutes. So I was like, oh God. She was like, well, I'm going to need you to come in and like sit on this machine. We're going to monitor you for an hour. And if it's still like that, because she thought maybe my cervix could have just been like dilated from her checking me. So she monitored me for an hour and then came in and gave me orders to go to the hospital. So of course I'm freaking out. This is my first baby. I'm moving into a new house and now I'm in labor. So I get to the hospital. I'm there for 3 days.
Oh my gosh.
They're doing all these tests. They're doing the 40 ultrasounds, like all this stuff. And they're like, if you have him, he's not going home. And I'm like, okay, awesome. Like, this is not what a mother wants to hear. This is not the plan. Like, God, why are you doing this? And I was having steroid shots. They were coming in every hour on the hour to give me steroid shots for 3 days. And goodness. Then finally contractions stopped and they sent me home, gave me medication for basically used for blood pressure, but it was to basically just keep him incubated, and I was on bed rest. So then on the 36th week is when you have to stop the medication. You can't take it any longer. So I stopped taking the medication and 24 hours later I went into labor again.
Whoa. Wow.
2:00 in the morning, pouring down rain. Husband had not driven the routes like he had been asked to go to the hospital.
Oh, of course not.
We missed the turn twice. We get there and she's like, you're not going home. When you go home, you're going to go home with the baby. So I'm like, okay, awesome. Also not the plan. So I text my dad and nobody has probably ever gotten to the hospital faster than him. I felt like I sent the text and he was there. And my dad and my brother Chase were there the whole time. And literally I had a very uneventful labor. Like she came in, broke my water at 7:00 in the morning and he was there by 4:52 PM, but I only pushed for 45 minutes. So
wow.
That was it. And at 37 weeks, he was 6 pounds, 10 ounces. So
wow.
He would have been a whopper.
No kidding.
Yeah. So 37 weeks. Okay. Cause my baby, she was born at 36 weeks and they were worried about her lungs, but they said a lot of the times, I think we've talked about it on the podcast before, they call it wimpy boy syndrome because a lot of the times the boys have problems with their lungs, but he seems like he stayed in there long enough to be healthy. So he didn't have to have.
Because I had the steroid shots, which was for lung development at 34 weeks, I think that's what helped. Because I had already had the stuff. So basically, once I had those steroid shots and it had enough time to kick in, they were really no longer concerned once I had made it to that 37th week.
Man.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
I don't know how that happens. Like, how does that just happen to some people? Like, that's not the plan. It's supposed to be there for 40 weeks and then you go.
Yeah.
Right.
So did they didn't give you an explanation on why your body was trying to go into preterm labor then? Because they didn't give me one either because I had a spontaneous rupture. Like my water broke at 36 weeks and they had no explanation. Is that kind of what happened to you?
Well, I got the explanation. I had no idea that I had a short cervix.
Oh.
So my cervix is probably close to half the length of a normal cervix, and it's slightly tilted. So they said that that's why.
Interesting.
That's so interesting.
So literally, like, you can't.
So weird.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Probably, I would say that, okay, automatically with a second baby, I would be high risk immediately.
Oh, yeah.
And they would probably tell me I could not have sex after 30 weeks probably, because anything that could possibly like cause you to dilate, and especially with a short cervix, it's like you'll go into labor.
Oof. I mean, but really, who wants to have sex after 30 weeks anyway?
Exactly. Well, exactly.
I know
they do. They do, but I don't.
Sorry about it. You're not getting in this body.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
oh no, I did not want to be touched after that. I was like, oh no, I'm too fat for that right now.
Same, not remotely interested.
There's all that pressure already like pushing down on everything. Why would you want something that goes in against the pressure, you know? Like,
yeah. Again, not remotely interested.
Yeah, like, not at all.
And then I don't know about y'all, but after I had Jackson, I literally didn't want anybody to touch him. Like, I was so worried about germs just because he was early, like so weird about it. And I'm still weird about it, but not to that extent. And I just wanted to like be at home and just be with my husband and my child and like not be worried about anybody else.
Oh,
yeah. No, I think that totally is understandable. You know, they come out and they're in this, you know, they're fresh and new and they have no immune system.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's scary.
And I'm like, people don't understand. It's like, okay, you act like you're perfectly fine, but literally you could have the flu and not even know it. And then you bring in that germ in here and then my baby's sick and it could literally kill my child. Like, you don't understand.
It's the scariest thing. Every single time, I have four kids, but 3 stepsons. And every time they walk in, they're like, I don't feel good. Or like, I think I have the flu. I'm like, we're getting out of here. We're going to a hotel. Like, I am like major panic mode. Because it's so scary because, yes, they can die of anything so fast. It's so scary.
It's so scary. Both of y'all's girls look so petite.
Yeah. They actually weighed the same coming out, but mine was like full term and Jade's was obviously way early.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But she's just a little tiny nugget. She also just doesn't really like eating a lot. She's so different than a boy. Boys just are obsessed with eating. And she's like, I could do without a bottle. I'm like, eat this bottle.
Please.
I know. It's so funny.
Do y'all have plans for baby number 2? And was it planned for y'all to have kids like around the same time?
No. Well, my husband and I were trying, and then Carly and her husband had a surprise.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I found out 2 days after I got married. We were in Mexico, and I found out I was pregnant.
But I'd love to get pregnant together again.
I know. I'm trying to convince.
I want to have that moment off of Father of the Bride Part 2 when they're both pregnant and they're both turning around.
Oh my gosh,
yes, I love that.
And then they turn around and they show their bellies. Carly, I want that moment with you.
Listen, you just need to convince Evan. I'm trying, but he just keeps pulling out.
He's not having it.
He's not having it yet. I mean, I get it. We've only been married for a little over a year, and that first one was obviously we got married and then it happened real quick. So I get wanting to wait for a minute, but I'm just like, and I don't know if this is even a thing or not, but I want to have my body just be like this, get it over with, and then get back into shape instead of be like, oh, I want to wait and then get in shape, and then I want to like get big again and then get back into shape.
That's me right now. That's my struggle. I'm like, okay, I do so good, and I like go to the gym every day, and
you go every day.
Yeah, well, 5 days a week. So
good for you.
Yeah.
When did you even start doing that again?
Honestly, I was so ready at like 2 months after I had him that I was just, I wasn't going to the gym, but I was doing things at home. So like I would do things that just kind of like fit my schedule. So I started with like P90X, and then I would take him on 2 walks a day just so I could like start getting my body ready to go back into like the mode of, wow, I'm cute again.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. I
don't look like Flubber. Awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
The Flubber is just never a cute look.
No.
It's so hard, the struggles of mommyhood, because you want to get back into shape, but your body is just like, am I ready? I don't know. But,
yeah. Okay, Carly, this is funny. So back whenever your brother was on The Bachelorette, I used to think he was so cute.
You did? Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah, I did.
He's a charmer, that guy.
Guy.
Yeah, he really is. I'm so happy that he met his wife, because she's literally the best thing that has ever happened to us and him. She's like the most chill, smart, beautiful, wonderful woman ever, but he would have made a fantastic bachelor. Yes. He would have been hilarious, but then deep and like all of the things. But I'm glad it didn't happen. God had the best plan. But yes, he does. He is just like a breath of fresh air. We've been like best friends, obviously, like forever. But I love it. Can't say enough good about him.
Also, okay, so I have bachelor questions because I just want to know. Okay. Like, obviously, y'all are two success stories, but there aren't a lot of them. So, do you feel like a lot of people go on for the wrong reasons?
Yes. Definitely now more than ever, because of the social media aspect. And I think all the parties, the events that people get invited to now, they want to have that lifestyle. Mm-hmm. I really think it's a lot more about that now.
You know what's so funny is, so when my brother was on it, that was like the year social media kind of started. And, but it wasn't even a thing until like it was airing. And then I remember my brother getting some followers and he was like, this is so weird. Like, what is this even? You know, and I think he ended up with, oh gosh, I don't know, 50 maybe. And, now it would probably be 750,000, and it's so different. But I feel like back then, people were going on. I mean, yes, lots were going on for TV, but not like, hey, I want to go on to make money on ads or to, to get on Bachelor in Paradise and be on TV twice or all of these things. Right. I feel like this is all a new thing that happened because The Bachelor has become not just TV, but now the internet.
I remember on our season, there was somebody and I was walking by and they were walking up the stairs talking to someone and they had just done an interview or was on film for something. And they were like, I'm going to get so many Twitter followers for what I just said. I'm like,
oh my gosh, that's so gross.
And then that's when I was like, oh, people are here for other reasons.
Well, and I always think like, okay, if I was ever in the situation to go on The Bachelor, first off, to not know like who the person is that I'm going to meet, that's scary.
Yeah.
Secondly, what if you get on there and that person really likes you, but like you don't really dig them?
I mean, you can go home at any point. Like, although in Bachelor in Paradise, the season that I ended up with Evan, I asked to go home about 3,000 times. And they were like, nope, you're staying. And I was like, this is so dumb. I don't like anyone. I hate it here. It's hot. Ew. And they were like, no, you're staying. Which
why didn't you like Evan at first?
I think, I don't know. He was I just felt this friend vibe. When you meet people and you're like, oh my gosh, that guy and I are going to be really good friends. And then my brain didn't go any further than that. Right. And then, I don't know. He was like, even like I think that night, Evan said that, I'm so bad. I don't remember this. But I also probably had a lot of tequila. But he said like, I took his hand and like went to the pool and I was like talking to him at the pool, holding his hand or something. Which also could have been because I was like, I need to lock somebody in here. But like, I don't know. I just remember being like, I'm going to go home and I will be friends with this guy my whole life. But I just wasn't feeling the like, I want to make out with you vibe.
Because then you see like, okay, so then like the Ashley and Jared thing, that might have been a similar situation, like.
Totally.
Yeah, Jared was definitely you, Carly, in that scenario.
Oh, yeah. Well, and, one thing that bothers me a lot about that relationship and what people are saying now is, are they just doing it for a publicity stunt? Does he really like her? And first off, that makes me super mad because I know them so well. But secondly, I'm like, you guys, people change their minds. Like, he obviously had the aha moment that I had about Evan for Ashley. It just happened for me, you know, in like a 2 or 3 week period. And for him, it did take like 3 years.
Well, and sometimes it's just wrong timing. Like maybe in his life, it just wasn't right for him in those moments and everything. And then I think when he moved to LA, especially, and they always were like best friends, but once he was around her more, I think physically, I think he realized too. And obviously it took her dating another guy for him to be like, holy crap, like I
but that's such a guy
her.
thing too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ashley hadn't dated anybody while she knew Jared.
Not really.
I mean, she'd been like some dates, like online dates, or not online, but like not Twitter. What am I thinking of right now?
Like Tinder or Bumble.
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah, those things, but nothing like substantial. How was it when you met your husband?
Well, we met in college, and he played baseball, and I just went to school and was in a sorority. So we met before TV, and I don't know what it would be like if I met somebody like during TV. Because you never know people's intentions. You never know. I mean, you just never know. And people can like sell you the sun and the moon, but it doesn't mean shit at the end of the day.
Totally.
I just couldn't imagine. I'm glad that the situation was the way that it was. Now, we've had issues because of TV, but I mean, and also just having a child, I think like life changes, you know, and it's like, in college, everything is so fun and you party and it's like you live for Thursday through Saturday. And
Totally.
Then you get like real life and you get married and then you get pregnant. We got married in January and I was pregnant by Mother's Day. So
wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, you have that and then you're buying your first house and then, oh wow, we're filming a pilot for something that we have no idea what the hell's going on. Like, yeah. And then all of a sudden, you know, we're on this reality TV show and he's trying to do a corporate job and I'm out here dinking around on reality TV. Like, that's hard.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
I mean, I just can't imagine that because I was in it. We were in reality TV by ourselves. I can't even imagine my family being in it because not only is it hard on your relationship, but it's hard on relationships with your family as well, I'm sure.
Yes.
Because everything is so exposed. Those are your closest relationships that you have. And, you know, the deep down feelings that you always have come out because that's what reality TV is about. And it forces you into talking about things that maybe you really don't want to talk about.
And producers find out everything.
Right.
Everything.
Like, you can't hide anything for very long, you know?
Right.
So yeah. It's like, I could not honestly imagine what it would be like finding somebody after starting TV. Y'all's situation is a bit different though, because y'all all were kind of individually already in doing reality TV when you met. It would be hard for me, I think, to be on reality TV and try to meet a normal guy.
Yeah. Yeah. You know? I mean, it is hard because you don't know, like, what reasons are they in it for?
Yes.
And hopefully it's the right ones, but I don't know. That's so hard.
Yeah, it's so hard. And then, you know, going through public separation, like in reality TV and being people following you and try to find out like what's actually going on in your life. And it's like, hey, if I want to talk about it,
I will.
Yeah. And it'll be covered. It'll be covered on Chrisley Knows Best. Tune in.
Right. Exactly. I'm not giving that to you guys.
Yeah. Right. I mean, come on, people. Like, wake up.
You know what's so funny? Last night, Evan and I went to dinner, and I asked him if we hadn't done a reality TV show and you had just met me in life, because he was married for 10 years. I said, and you just met me in life, how long would it have taken you to propose? And he goes, I don't know that I would have. And I was like, excuse me? I was like, and so then I started getting mad, which was really funny because we were having this conversation and I go, waiter, another wine. And all of a sudden he appeared out of nowhere and I was like, this is amazing. But, side note, but I was like, why? And he goes, well, I didn't know if I wanted to get married again. And I was like, well, what changed? And he goes, I think, doing the show just opened up, they make you talk about love and all of these things and your past and relationships and what you're looking for. And he goes, I think it just opened my heart to that idea again. And I don't know that I would have been open to it. And then he said something that I didn't like, which was, all the girls I really had dated, like, they were, like, really good wife material. Like, they would have been great wives. And I was like, so I don't really want to hear that right now. And I was like, so now you come to the part where you're like, but you changed everything because you're amazing.
Where are these women? I will cut them.
But I know, me too. But
I will hunt them down.
It's interesting because, even for my brother, right after the show, he met his wife within, like, a month after filming. And I think it does, because guys are not forced to talk about that stuff in their life. When they start talking about it, I think it does open up them to the possibility of real, like, settle down love.
Yeah.
I think. Anyway.
Tanner and I definitely would not have dated in real life. Mm-hmm. Because it just the way he approaches, like, used to approach dating compared to, like, what he was like on the show would have just not worked. Because his like approach was, if he liked a girl, he would, like, get her number, text her a couple times, and then be like, hey, I'm out at the bar with my friends, let's meet up. And then by the time they met up, he was already drunk with his boys, and then would just, like, try to, like, invite the girl over to his house. And I was like, yeah, that would not have worked. We would have never dated. So thank God for Bachelor in Paradise for us.
I watched Bachelor in Paradise. Jade, weren't you on the first season?
The second, yeah.
The second season, okay, yeah. I watched that season just because of you and Tanner, because I knew whenever y'all went on the date that y'all were going to get married. Like, I just knew.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
That is so cute.
Like, I didn't know. I was like, they're perfect.
What's funny is after the show ended, they give you like a kind of a engagement period where they let you stay in Mexico for a couple days and celebrate. And we called our parents, and both when we called my dad and we called Tanner's mom, they both were like, oh, is it Tanner? Is it Jade? Like, they without even, like, knowing, they both just knew that it was us.
They knew.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I got goosebumps.
Meanwhile, I was at home sobbing, Jade.
Oh, that's the worst. I remember they would not let me see you before you left, but I know you left really quickly too.
Oh no, well, I ran away as fast as
I ran.
Get me out of this stupid country. I hate everything.
We've all been there.
Oh gosh. Reality TV is just something quite special.
And back to your point, Carly, like, about, I can really relate to your husband about being married and then, like, not wanting to do it again, because if I would have gone through with getting a divorce, I literally would have Kourtney Kardashian for, like, the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Like, not interested, because it just adds such a, like, there's such a stigma, like, around marriage. And I feel like once we got married so young. We were 22 years old when we got married.
Wow.
So I just felt like everything changed. I don't know if it was just, like, the word married or what it was, but I just felt like a sense of, okay, I have to do everything perfect now.
Uh-huh.
You know,
yeah,
so
I get that.
I think I just wouldn't mentally, like, go there again, and I might, like, wear a ring or something, but that's it.
Yeah.
We did have some people ask, though, because like you said, you guys almost did get divorced, but you guys worked it out. Like, how do you make it through those tough times and keep your relationship fresh?
I think, honestly, it took the really hard part of being separated, and I was living in Nashville at the time and with my parents, and he was kind of, like, spending time with his family and back in Atlanta, and I had the baby with me. And I think it just took, honestly, being apart and realizing, oh wow, we haven't been apart in, like, 7 years at this point.
Wow.
What it feels like, and I think it was good for both of us to kind of experience, like, a little bit of independence, but at the same time, we both came back to the same realization of, okay, maybe this, like, isn't actually over. Actually, it's a funny story. He got bit by a copperhead. Like, who gets bit by a copperhead?
Oh my gosh, that's so scary.
What?
Yes, I was in Nashville and just filming the show and living there. And he randomly has never been to the doctor, never had an emergency, anything, like the whole time we've been together. And then we separate and he gets bit by a copperhead. I literally thought it was a fucking joke.
That's so scary.
Oh, I would have too. Okay, you've been bit by a snake. Okay.
And the funny thing was he told me that it bit him in his dick. And I was like,
wait, no, is that legit?
No, it really didn't.
Oh.
But like, oh my gosh. He told me it did because he was trying to make me like feel bad. And I was at Nordstrom. I was like, you're weird. Like, please stop communicating with me at this point. It's getting weird. Nobody gets bit by a copperhead. Like, that just doesn't happen. And he's like, no, seriously, I need my insurance card. And I'm like, you're a grown ass man and you don't carry around an insurance card. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So I just had like, I was gung ho. I was like, we're not getting back together. Like, we're done. This is, how it's going to be. I'm just going to be like a loser, divorced person. And that's just going to be what it is. And I just had like this weird feeling that I needed to come home. And I came home, and I guess like once I saw him like in a state of like hurt, that I was just like, okay, maybe this isn't right. So we just started working on things and getting back together, counseling, and just seeing the bigger picture and not going to like the nitty gritty of, oh, well, we're talking to this person, or you were doing this, or you were doing that. Like, you can't get into that space. You just have to move past that and just realize like the bigger picture is what we were doing was because we were both individually hurt, and that's all there was to it. And not to say that like we don't have struggles, regularly like any other married couple. I just think we're so much better than we ever were, even from the time that we first got together, because we worked through things that probably weren't okay, that both of us just kind of like overlooked over time. It forced us to just kind of acknowledge the things that we should work on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just stepped away, but did you guys, if you said this, I apologize, but did you guys do couples therapy, or is that?
We did.
You did?
Mm-hmm. We did. And that was probably honestly the hardest part. And he a lot of times said he never wanted to go back because he's not like a feeling expresser. Like he is very like non-emotional, very, he's just a dude, just
sure.
He's not going to express his emotions, until he gets to like level 10. And then it's like,
oh my gosh, that's my husband.
Why do they do that?
Then all the wheels fall off. And I'm like, dude, we were just cruising for like a long time. And then all of a sudden everything, like it just goes to shit. And then I don't even know what I'm dealing with at that point. Like a demon. I have no idea. But yeah, I think therapy was hard because you have to acknowledge things that you've done, and you have to acknowledge issues that you have, even if it's from childhood or, whatever it is, things that you don't want to acknowledge in life that it forces you to. And that sucks.
Yeah. Evan and I went to a therapy actually before we were married. Just because there are things that, we all have things, but that was like, we were both like, let's just make sure this is the right thing, the right move for us.
Yep.
And it was, we said a lot of things that we needed to say that like, I think if we hadn't said them, our relationship would be very different. And if we hadn't talked to someone about them who helped us go through that, things would be very different in our relationship.
And I'm definitely an advocate for anybody to be in therapy because we all have issues, like whether you're married, relationship, whatever, just to have like a third party there that is like non-biased. So they're not like on your side or his side. Then, obviously like if I talk to my dad, he's going to be 100%. Oh, he sucks, and
right.
If you talk to his parents, they're going to be like, oh, well, she's the worst, so it's nice to have somebody there that's just like completely not, one side or the other. They just see it for what it is, and, show you like, oh, okay, well, maybe this is why this person feels that way, and the way they talk about it is like, okay, well, do you understand why she feels this way or why he feels this way?
It helps you see the other side that you would never be able to see unless someone explained it to you like that.
Yes. So, I mean, it sucks that I had to go through all of that pretty publicly, but, you know, I've tried to keep like intimate details out from the media and stuff like that because it's not really anybody's business. But, you know, it's relatable. Like everybody has marriage struggles. Some are worse than others. And I mean, I just think about it, like we've been together 10 years already, you know?
That is wild.
Yeah.
That's a long time. And you kind of hit a point where you see, and it's the age of social media too. Like you see all of this stuff on social media and you're like, oh, those people look perfect. Like, why are we not like that? You know? And it's such a facade because my husband hates social media. He doesn't even have social media. He doesn't want to be on social media. Like his job, he doesn't want like to be a part of social media. So people are like, oh, why don't you post this or why don't you post that? Because he doesn't want me to. Like, and I'm going to be fine with that. Like, if I'm going to, you know, honor his wishes and be like, okay, if you don't want to be a part of it, then you don't have to be a part of it, you know?
Right. Yeah. No, and you got to, as a couple and as husband and wife, you kind of have to learn to respect that. And people just got to deal with that.
Like y'all, for example.
Sorry.
Y'all met on TV, so it's a bit different. Yeah. So you can like post things and whatever. I was married before TV, you know? So yeah. And it's hard too when both of our families were kind of, you know, my parents didn't want me getting married. I don't think his parents wanted him getting married, but we were so young and we were just bound and determined, like, we're going to get married. So I actually got married in Mexico too.
Oh, yes. It's the place for lovers.
Yes.
It's crazy though. So when I was 19, I was in a serious relationship and got engaged. And I totally thought like I was ready. I found my person. I was going to get married. And I probably would have got married like 21, 22. And the person I was then compared to the person I am now is a completely different person. So I feel like it's just crazy if I had gotten married at that time in my life. I don't know if I would still be with that person, to be honest. I mean, that's just a total random.
Yeah.
You go through so many changes, you know, because that's when we met, when I had just turned 19 and he's only 6 months older than me. So we're the same age. And that's such a relatable thing because you go through so many different life changes. It's like, okay, you are a teenager and then you go through, you know, you're a young adult and then you have graduated college and then you're going to start a career. Wow. Mine's reality TV. Cool. His is like corporate America, you know, and it's like trying to juggle like all of that stuff. It's hard to not have bumps in the road.
Right.
Yeah.
I just think though, like for people who do have kids, I'm always an advocate for, are you sure and 100% sure that it's over? Because you know, to try to put a child through something like that, that was my biggest thing of, I don't want to play this back and forth, you know, shit. You know, it's like, we're either going to shit or get off the pot. Like, let's go to counseling. Let's figure out if these are things that we cannot like 100% work through. And if they aren't, then at least we can fully say we tried everything.
Right.
Yeah.
But if, you know, we don't try, I would just be devastated to have to explain to my child, you know, 12 years down the road, why did y'all, you know, not make it work? And why does my life suck? Explain to him, okay, well, you know, we didn't go to counseling and we didn't try to make it work. Like, I just didn't want to have to do that.
Right.
Yeah, that's totally understandable. It's hard. It's such a hard thing because you want to do what's best, you know, for the situation as a whole. And sometimes it is for people to split and to have two households and to raise their children that way. But it's just shitty all around. Divorce is so hard and period. Or trying to stay together sometimes it's just so hard. It's just, I mean, it's just sometimes doesn't even feel like you know, it's like a lose-lose situation sometimes you feel like. But I commend you totally for going through the therapy and going through the work and wanting to stick to your marriage. And I think it's awesome that you guys
are the easier route would have been to just like divorce. That would have been the easier thing to do. Because it literally, like, we had the attorneys, we had the mediation set, like everything, we were going to mediate and everything was set. But it's funny, we canceled mediation 3 times, and I was like, okay, now this is like costing me money every freaking week. So what are we doing here? And why are we canceling? Like, I'm working, so I cancel, then you get bit by copperhead, so you cancel, then like
I mean, my husband went into the hospital too, and that's where I fell for him. So I get that.
You know, it's like, really? I mean, this is like some kind of sick joke. Jay, did it hurt your marriage worse after doing the boot camp?
So it's funny because Tanner and I got married in January, and we had already, like, November, December, had been talking with our agent about doing marriage boot camp. We were like, oh, we'll get married. We're going to get married, and then we're going to go on this show. And even though a lot of the people that are on that show are not even married, so I guess it's fine. But we had only been married 4 months, and I really didn't want to do the show. But Tanner was like, "It's too good of money to turn down." He's like, "It's only a couple weeks. We'll just do the show. It'll be fine. We'll get through it." And we did obviously have some issues, but during the show, during the filming of it, I feel like it was harder on our relationship. It was like straining. And then I was actually super just traumatized by the show. So for 4 or 5 months after the show wrapped, I would have nightmares every night about the show. And I feel like that really took a toll on Tanner because he was like, shut up, stop talking about it. Mm-hmm. And so we had to kind of process and go through that. But there were things that did help Tanner in the show, I feel like, because they did force him to open up and talk about his feelings. And there were things about his childhood he didn't know that affected him. And I feel like that really helped our marriage. So if I could take one positive thing from it, it would be that. But I really just feel like, I mean, I look back at it now and I just laugh.
It's like, it's just like a blurb in your life, I'm sure. It's just kind of like, that happened, great, we're over it, great.
Yeah, totally. But during the moment, there were some challenges with it for sure. But it was the production of it mostly that was just hard on us.
I'm just like, there's not enough money to pay me to like put myself through crying situations. Like,
I know.
No thanks.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think that's why I resented Tanner during the filming of it, because he wanted to do it for the cash, and I was emotionally taxed by it. So I was just so mad. I'm like, you put me through this for money, just to let you know, like, this is blood money.
That's so true. Oh, God.
This is awful, and you suck, man.
Lindsie, we have another question that a lot of people asked that they wanted to know from you was, how do you deal with, because you said like you parent your son very differently than your parents parented, but how do you deal with overbearing opinions from parents, especially being in the spotlight?
First off, this is a fun question. I get enough from like my own parents, I think, that like what everybody else says in the world is just like
just like noise.
Yeah, it's just noise. And I mean, it's like, okay, all these people that have time to go on there and give me opinions about parenting, it's like, are you parenting? Because you have so much time to give me an opinion about it that I think you're failing with what you're doing. So
totally.
You know, to each their own. Like, how I choose to raise mine is my choice. He's mine. I birthed him. I raise him. Right. So that's my choice. What I choose to do. If you think I'm a whack bag, then you know what? I'll board the train. Like, I'm cool with it. I don't really care if people think I'm crazy, because at the end of the day, it's my decision. It's what I choose to do. If my parents have rules, you know, just it's my kid. I'm not dropping him off and like all hell breaks loose. Like, no, like that's not happening. Like, we don't feed hot dogs in my house. We don't do that kind of stuff. If it's in my parents' refrigerator, just don't feed him that. Like, do my parents listen always? No, never. But at least like I laid the groundwork, and then I'm pissed off for like 3 days, and then I'm over it, and I'm like, okay, awesome. He didn't die. Like, this is great. I mean, you just have to kind of go with it. Everybody's going to have an opinion about everything. You know, everybody has an opinion. Whenever, you know, I filed for divorce, everybody was like, oh, that's great. You should divorce him. You should do this. And then you had people that like knew him in real life that would go on Instagram and be like, you suck. Like, you're the worst. And I get that with parenting too. It's like, you need to let him get germs. You need to, you know, let him build his immune system. I'm pretty sure him going to preschool, he's getting everything he needs. Like,
right.
I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I don't know. Everybody has an opinion and I don't really care about it.
Yeah. No,
I mean, that's a great mentality.
That's really good. That's one reason, like, we have this podcast is because, like, we also just wanted an outlet to talk about the way we do things. And yes, we have people come on and tell us, you know, experts in the field tell us how we maybe should do things. But it is what it is. We parent our kid one way and you could parent your kid another way. And it's like, we just wanted to have like a mutual respect place for moms to like talk about that.
And my dad, the funny thing is my dad tries to act like he wasn't a whack bag parent when I was born, but like he totally was, because he used to read like parenting books and stuff, like whenever I was born, because I was the first child. And my grandmother used to tell him, well, Todd, if they have time to write a parenting book, then they ain't parenting. So, you know, I don't believe in really an expert parenter either, you know, because how do they know that they're like the expert?
Right.
You know, it's like, because they said so.
Yeah. Exactly. Right.
I don't believe in that. Like, I think just like whatever works for you, you know?
Mm-hmm. Totally agree.
Yeah. I feel like every woman knows with her intuition and her gut what's right for her and her family. So we kind of acknowledge that on here and just we're like, you do you, you know?
Yeah. You do you, and I'm surely going to do me. So,
yes.
You know, so, it's like, it's whatever.
I wanted to ask you too, Lindsie, about your guys' podcast. It's called Coffee Convos, right?
Yes.
So is that a mommy podcast, or you guys just talk about random things or whatever?
Oh, gosh. We talk about mom stuff. We talk about media stuff. We go down the political slope.
Oh, wow.
We talk about, did you guys know that Bristol Palin just joined?
I heard. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I heard that too.
So we talked about that last week. The funny thing is like the replacement of Farrah with her, you know, it's like you replace Farrah with somebody super, super conservative. So that was interesting. We talk about stuff like that, and then, you know, the media outlets pick it up and twist our words and say we say stuff that we don't really say.
Of course they do. Isn't that fun?
We kind of talk just like about life, just probably like you guys do. Like you just talk about like what's going on in your life. And it's just a fun place for us to be able to have that time once a week to just talk and let people hear our crazy and realize that we are just as crazy and normal as everybody else.
Yeah, totally.
You know, like we have the same struggles as any normal person. Just because we're on TV doesn't mean that we're not, I mean, we aren't normal, but you know what I mean?
Well, I'm coming on your podcast in like a week. And you can get back at me with any hard questions you want to.
I'm going to ask them, Carly.
Lay them on me.
I'm going to lay them on you hard.
I'm very excited about coming on. I can't wait. And we can actually meet in person.
I wish you guys were in Nashville.
I know. Gosh, oh, my gosh.
Me too. I wish that every day.
I know. We do.
But then y'all built that house, so it's like, you know.
I know, it's so pretty.
Yeah.
You know, Tanner and I, we always like once or twice a year we go down the rabbit hole of like, let's just sell the house and travel the world and just forget it all. And then he brings me back down to planet Earth. But
so what are you going to do? Buy a camper?
Ooh, oh my gosh, I would love to.
I would too. I want a camper so bad.
Yeah.
I would be divorced if I bought a camper.
Oh my gosh. Jade and I, we need to buy a mommy camper.
Can we? Oh my God.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's a really good idea. And then we could go from place to place and podcast.
Yes.
We just need a driver because I'm not driving. I think that's a really good idea.
I'll be in the back with the mimosas.
Oh my gosh, that sounds fantastic.
Sounds great.
Lindsie,
Sign me up.
thank you so much for coming on. You are a delight.
Absolutely. Yes. It was so nice talking to you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, absolutely. Okay.
Right.
And I'll see you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. She's so cute.
She's so cute. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. And so very real.
Yeah.
That's what I loved about her. She shared a lot, really. And I felt like she was just very candid. It just was like, this is how it is.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's so appreciated because, some people could come on here and just be like, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. And, she even talked about things I was like, I don't know if I want to bring up this. And then she was like, I'm just going to talk about this. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yeah, no, she's a lot of fun. I'm jealous you're going on her podcast. I want to go on.
I know. God. Okay, so why don't you just fly here?
I know.
I have an extra mic we can bring. I have lots of extra mics.
I'm sure they'd love an Emerson screaming in the background 24/7 too.
No,
right?
That's what we have Evan for.
He does love Emmy.
Oh my gosh, he loves Emmy so much. Well, that was super fun.
You guys,
edit.
Emmy's,
I don't know what else to talk about.
No, that's fine. Emmy is asleep on my boob right now.
Stop it. That's so funny.
She's so active right now, and she was literally into everything and banging everything. At one point, she was banging the vent over here. I was like, well, how did you find the vent? And she's just like, boom, boom, boom. So I apologize to people for my daughter. But now she's asleep, so we're good. I'm just standing here and rocking her while we're talking.
I'm getting sleepy watching you do that. Actually,
I know.
I want to be rocked.
Ditto.
Okay, well, so shall we wrap this up then?
Yeah. Well, she we forgot to ask her where you can find her. So for people who want to check out Lindsie, you can check her Instagram out. I believe it's just Lindsie Chrisley, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Lindsie Chrisley. And she does have her Coffee Convos podcast. I did check out her Instagram. She is adorable.
She's so cute.
Yeah, she's such a good mom.
She's such a good mom.
For those listening too, if you want to find her, she spells Lindsie Lindsie. So it's unique. It's like a unique spelling of it. So just throw.
So check her out,
there.
and then also tune into her podcast and listen for me on that podcast. I don't know when it airs, but I'm going there on the 27th. So we shall see.
Yeah, it's fun.
Well, guys, tune in next week. I'm sure we'll have some awesomeness.
You're frozen. Liz is frozen, but thank you so much for tuning in. Liz is just laying her head back.
Sorry.
We love you. Thanks for tuning in, and we will talk to you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
This podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Babes and Babies, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.